Namaste, it's an only snowflake here. The ShintoSE yoga. Welcome to the ShintoSE yoga experience with Shinto Self Empowerment. We had our hands at our back, so they were down to start with the thumbs, but then we lifted them up so that our bottom fingers and our upper thumbs were massaging two parts of the spine, as gently and softly the very surface of the skin and the energetic fields were manipulated back into alignment. Wow. We have our energies of the cards that I've been dancing with over the last few days, preparing us for this, which these books weren't even on our special bookshelf that go for these channels. That's been adjusted a few times, but these just stay back. But yeah, they've come out. So we're in the energies, planetary time energies of Venus. I'm not sure how long ago, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. So we'll be starting off with them, which we can do. Queen of Wands, third eye chakra, heart chakra, perception, the maiden, crown chakra, creation, she shaman. And then we have the King of Swords and the King of Cups, left and right vagus nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, crown chakra, that then go down to the root chakra, the end of your tailbone, the coccyx, to ground us in so that we can use our tailbone and our coccyx, our energetic tail, to anchor us into Mother Gaia's core and fully anchor us in and stabilize us before we start then climbing up the ladder to the higher energetic fields, so that we can stay as sane as possible while losing our insanity, because one has to become insane to realize they're sane, insane in the membrane. And we gain our root chakra then, perfect alignment and harmony and vibration of our root chakra frequency, so it's at its optimum resonant frequency, so that all the other chakras above that will be aligned as well, because you can't align the upper chakras if your very foundation one isn't. And it doesn't matter what's happened to you in this lifetime, if you have any generational trauma from your family lineage and humanity, then you may not have a perfectly aligned root chakra. I don't know if anyone in humanity will have a perfectly aligned root chakra, actually, to be fair with you. That's an interesting question to ask. One of the four agreements, don't take anything and be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. Always don't make assumptions and always question everything, even yourself, because the truth will always shine through. The only thing that doesn't lie to ourselves is our breath. And the fourth agreement, always do your best, knowing that your best isn't always going to be the same, depending what you're going through, whether you're ill, whether you're healthy, whether you're tired or not. And on these journeys through what people know as the dark night of the soul, which we heard called the dark night of the ego the other day, but what we call the shadow dance of life. And these are the fun tools to go with the shadow dance of life that my very younger stunted generational consciousness, our younger little dude alters, have been teaching us through this incredible, honoured, so grateful for, very challenging journey that we've been on with life, especially the last year, especially the last 4.5 years, especially the last 22 years. The Sexual Healing Journey by Wendy Maltz, a guide for survivors of sexual abuse. Let's stop being survivors. Let's turn it into thriving. Because if you're the best survivor going and you've managed it this far, you'll be the best thriver going. This book is a classic, a proven guide to reclaiming the healthy sex and love life that is rightfully yours. I highly recommend it. From Pat Love, Ed D, author, co-author of Never Be Lonely Again. We've left a link below. It's the 3rd edition, newly revised and updated. We're not affiliated. We just want to make life a bit easier for you. Because this is a healing package that we are providing for ourselves, because we've not been able to find anything out there to support us how we need, because we're learning to support ourselves how we need. And then we will share while we're sharing as it goes on. Men and women who have despaired that their sex lives would never change will find hope and answers in this friendly, encouraging and essential guide. Laura Davis, co-author of The Courage to Heal and author of Allies in Healing. Say more. Didn't know that. It was the book we thought was going to be read first. Allies in Healing. I love how the energies work, because it's our subconscious and our alters that have done all this buying. We're not allowed to buy anymore because we've got to get our credit card sorted out and everything. And we're so grateful to disability benefits, but it stresses us out so much. But I know that's the belief systems as well. But we want to become financially sound and financially self-sufficient again. And this stuff ain't just going to disappear. But if we can find a way to be financially self-sufficient again while all this is going on, and be able to let go of the disability benefits with so much gratitude, the empowerment that will bring will be amazing. And I believe more and more that it will happen somehow, but we don't need to question how. We just need to keep being present and living in each and every moment, and just really getting to know ourselves and heal ourselves and learn to slow down and rest, which I think is going to start happening after this Leo full moon, why we're on these marathons of what's going on at the moment. This widely esteemed, comprehensive guide helps survivors of sexual abuse heal from the past, improve relationships, and discover the joys of sexual intimacy. Wendy Maltz sensitively takes readers step by step through the recovery process, integrating expert advice with groundbreaking exercises, proven techniques, and first-person accounts of women and men at every stage of sexual healing. And one of the tarot readers that has been amazing for us in understanding sensuality and not having sensuality and sexuality so distorted and entangled that they can't be separated for us, has been Rob's Tarot. He's a mental health worker and therapist, and he's just got a beautiful energy and a beautiful way of words, and he delves into archetypal energies and the shadow. So if you want to look for someone online that's safe with his words, that knows what he's on about, that's compassionate and got a true heart, then we highly recommend him. This compassionate resource can help you to identify the sexual effects of sexual abuse, eliminate negative sexual behaviour and resolve specific problems, gain control over upsetting automatic reactions to touch and sex, develop a healthy sexual self-concept. The Essential Guide for Survivors of Sexual Abuse, newly revised and updated by the author. A precious gift for male and female survivors and for those who care about them. Wendy Maltz shares her deep understanding, professional expertise, and personal experience in a style that is clear, non-judgmental, warm and hopeful. From Mike Liu, author of Victims No Longer. And then from Harriet Lerner, PhD, author of The Dance of Anger and Marriage Rules. This classic self-help book offers sound and detailed guidelines for sexual healing. Wendy Maltz stands out for her remarkable combination of wisdom, creativity, and heart. What a helpful and encouraging contribution. We just had a major intestine thing put itself back in place there. Thank you, body. We love you. Wendy Maltz, LCSW, DST, is an internationally recognized sex and relationship therapist in private practice in Eugene, Oregon. She is a frequent lecturer and media guest, and her books include The Porn Trap, Private Thoughts, Passionate Hearts, and Intimate Kisses. www.healthysex.com. William Morrow, as in tomorrow, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers, and that's harpercollins.com. The cover photograph is by Ellerslie Shutterstock. And you can visit the website authortracker.com for exclusive information on your favourite HarperCollins authors. I thought that was going to be something else then. Contents. Acknowledgements. Preface. Introduction. About the sexual healing journey. Part 1. Starting out. Becoming aware. 1. Realising there's a sexual issue. 2. Acknowledging the abuse. 3. Identifying the sexual impact. 4. Deciding to reclaim our sexuality. Part 2. Moving forward. Making changes. 5. Creating a new meaning for sex. 6. Finding our real sexual selves. 7. Gaining control over automatic reactions. 8. Moving toward healthy sexual behaviour. 9. Healing with an intimate partner. Part 3. Getting there. Creating positive experiences. 10. Techniques for relearning touch. 11. Solving specific sexual problems. 12. Enjoying sexual experiences. Resources. About the author. Indexed. Acknowledgements. Many people have helped make this book a reality. I mention only some here by name, but I am very grateful to all who have helped me on this journey. Foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt appreciation to the many survivors and intimate partners of survivors I've become acquainted with through counselling, research, conferences, and workshops. Their courage, persistence, and accomplishments have inspired me professionally and personally. I am grateful that many of them chose to share their personal struggles and triumphs in this book. Their stories and words give the material emotional depth, immediacy, and rich meaning. This book is written in honour of them and of all people travelling on sexual healing journeys. A special thank you goes to Harriet Goldor, Lerner, for recognising the significance of my work and for providing me with valuable author-to-author counsel and affable support. I'm also grateful for the support of clinical colleagues who have been interfacing sexual abuse and sexuality. Their insights, knowledge, research and writings have helped me in developing my own treatment strategies and techniques, which in turn generate material for this book. Several colleagues' work has been of particular importance in this new field, namely Derek Jahu, Judith Becker, Peter Dimmock, Barry McCarthy, Patrick Carnes, Joe Lepicolo, Christine Courtois, Jan Hindman, and Mark Schwartz. Apologies for any mispronunciations. I also thank Felicia F., my literary agent, for her friendly, enthusiastic, direct, and competent representation, and my brother-in-law, Richard Garzilli, for his expert contract review and legal advice. During the course of the writing, I was blessed with help from some extremely bright and competent people. In particular, I thank my editor, Janet Goldstein, for her support. Lots of clearing going on for us, so I'm not going to apologise. For her superb editorial guidance in planning and developing the book from its inception. Janet's warmth, friendliness, intellect, and gifted editorial skills helped me realise my own ability as a writer who could produce a popular book. Her awareness of psychological processes and personal growth helped shape the book to be sensitive to the many different survivors for whom it is written. It was marvellous to have an editor who enthusiastically supported the project and believed in the social importance of my work. In addition, I thank two very special, talented writers who provided, in the trenches, editorial consultation. Dean Baker, a Eugene writer, provided friendly and creative assistance in the early stages of preparing the manuscript. I'm especially indebted to his keen ability to translate psychological jargon and concepts into everyday language. Susie Boss, a Portland, Oregon writer, provided essential help with the arduous task of revising the manuscript. Susie's consistent encouragement, compassionate understanding, and outstanding writing abilities helped me keep an active pace through numerous drafts and made a valuable contribution to the final shape of the book. I am also indebted to a number of people who read the first draft of the manuscript and gave helpful feedback, specifically Larry Maltz, Carla Bohr, Peter Dimmock, Ellen Bass, Laura Davis, Norma Ragsdale, Susan and Dale Goodman, Brian McRae, and my father, Joe Becker. Their knowledge, perceptive insights, and sensitivities helped me acknowledge areas in the book that needed improvement and further development. I am deeply grateful to my family and friends for providing continual loving encouragement and support during the nearly 2 years this book was being written. Friends Sandy Solomon and Lucia Hardy helped me brainstorm the outline and focus for the book. My parents, Joe and Arlene Becker, who taught me the value of persistence and determination, provided loving support. And I thank my siblings, Jane Garzilli, Sarah Nielsen, and Bill Becker, for their understanding and enthusiasm for this project. My sister-in-law, Susan Jennings, was especially kind, sending me cards and writings to lift my spirits during those inevitable times when I felt bogged down by all the work. Larry, my husband, spent countless days and evenings taking care of our children and household so that I could work on the book. He discussed theories and ideas with me and offered new insights. He cheered on my progress and comforted me when I felt discouraged. I do not believe I could have written this book were it not for his understanding, wisdom, tender reassurances, and nurturing love. My children, Jules and Cara, showed tremendous support given how difficult it was for them at times to have their mother so preoccupied. They both helped me with the research, stamping envelopes, sorting mailers, and preparing the questionnaires. I was particularly moved by the sweet hugs, kisses. It's touching us deeply. It's beautiful. It really gives us faith and courage in humanity and the potential that humanity and human beings can become. True unconditional love. Thank you for teaching us the vibrations of what it feels like. My children, Jules and Cara, showed tremendous support, given how difficult it was for them at times to have their mother so preoccupied. They both helped me with the research, stamping envelopes, sorting mailers, and preparing the questionnaires. I was particularly moved by the sweet hugs, kisses, and words of encouragement they gave me after quietly entering the computer room when they missed me or wanted to show they cared. Given my family's personal sacrifices, contributions, and enduring support, this book is best described as a Maltz family production. Love it. A special thank you goes to Jessica McGrady, Stephanie Mayers, and Calvert Morgan, editors at HarperCollins, for their friendly support and work on the 3rd edition update of this book. And I wish to thank Larry again for help with another revision and for spiriting me away from update work to join him on hikes, canoe trips, bike rides, sunset dinners, and more. It's reminded us one of our things is that when we do meet someone, we'd love moonlit picnics, but a sunset dinner sounds great, and a sunrise breakfast. Wow. Life has the potential to be magical. We can do it, guys. Preface. I pedal my sturdy silver bike along the banks of the Willamette River. White, puffy clouds roll northeast, shifting now and then to reveal a blue sky and warm sun. It's spring, and the bright green riverfront surges with new life. It was on a bike ride to this river back in 1989 that I decided to write the sexual healing journey. Today, I celebrate the book's more than 20 years in print and reflect on its history and continued value as a healing resource for survivors. This has been profound. We're getting major shingle pains and inner toothache deep in the tooth and up. And then it goes blank and then right on the surface of the skin. I remember feeling compelled to write this book. That's where our jaw operation was as well. It was as though I had discovered a new plant with medicinal properties in my own backyard and just had to share it. In my clinical practice, through academic research, and in my personal life, I was learning a tremendous amount about sexual healing. I drew on these discoveries to help many survivors begin to heal and reclaim their sexuality. Yet, I knew that many more continued to suffer in silence. Few resources for healing existed at that time, and the ones that were available were limited in content and tone. I saw the need for an information-packed, compassionate resource that would empower and assist a wide range of survivors and their intimate partners. I was challenged by the dilemma facing many survivors, wanting to enjoy sexual intimacy, but having difficulty addressing sexual issues directly. When I decided Right, bye no more. How are we all doing? Are we okay? Are we able to continue? We don't want to push it too hard. We don't want to push it at all. We want it to be easy. Has it been easy? It's as been easy as it's going to get. Well done. You're so brave. We're so brave. When I decided to write the sexual healing journey, there were no resources that offered sex therapy techniques specifically designed for survivors. People with problems related to incest, rape, and sexual molestation were encouraged to use traditional sex therapy approaches and techniques. These exercises were prescribed and prescripted. They were insensitive to the special needs of people with sexual trauma histories. Many survivors found them unappealing and in some instances, re-traumatizing. As one survivor told me, they were too much, too soon, and too sexual. That's why I began to develop new healing approaches. My techniques teach basic skills first, rudimentary self-awareness, communication, and touching. The need to initiate and control sexual contact, and the need to go slow and build bridges from one experience to another. My goal became to create a comprehensive healing guide beneficial to all survivors, regardless of how or when they were abused. The amount of sexual abuse recovery work they have already done, or their present lifestyles and sexual orientations. To extend the range of this book beyond what I had learned in my clinical practice as a therapist and in my early research, I interviewed survivors who had worked on sexual healing with other therapists. To reach even more people, I designed a lengthy questionnaire that I administered to more than 140 survivors, partners of survivors, and clinicians specializing in sexual healing. I recall it being a very busy and exciting time as I gathered and organised the information for this book. It was a great opportunity for me, as a woman who has recovered from sexual abuse herself, and as a therapist who specialises in treating sexual problems. I learned more about effective healing techniques, and as the writing progressed, it was exhilarating to experience the book taking on a life of its own. I was blessed with the supportive input and assistance of many other people, colleagues, friends, family, and survivors. They became actively involved and kept reminding me how important the book would be to others. A male survivor wrote on the back of his questionnaire, "I'd be pleased if my story can help just one person, although I wish this kind of book were not necessary." Another survivor wrote, "I pray that people can realize abuse may have caused their sexual problems and seek and get help. Their words kept the project flowing and kept me cognizant of how vital a role sexual healing plays in recovering from abuse. While I brought professional wisdom to the project, the book was also very important to me on a personal level. I am what I call a patchwork survivor, one who has experienced the different kinds of sexual abuse at different times in his or her life. When I was a little girl, when I was a little girl, I was touched inappropriately by an uncle who acted in a sexually seductive and flirtatious manner toward me. These experiences made me anxious about my own sexual energy and harmed my ability to select genuinely caring partners in my early dating years. When I was a junior at the University of Colorado, I was assaulted one afternoon while walking on a heavily wooded campus path. A man sprang out from behind me. A man sprang out from behind some bushes with his pants undone, threw me up against a wall, fondled me, and tried to rape me. I defended myself with the book I was carrying, a treatise on Mahatma Gandhi's methods of non-violent protest. Let's start the Gandhi quantum ripple effect. Be the change you want to see in the world. For a long time, I joked about how funny it was that I hit him with such a book, preferring not to remember the terror and powerlessness I had felt. It wasn't until we heard other people approaching on the path that he let go of me and ran away. Later, in graduate school, I went out with a law student I barely knew. He invited me to his apartment to listen to music. After a few kisses, he suddenly changed. A faraway look came over him, and he seemed to become another person. He grabbed me, held me down, and raped me. I felt used, humiliated, and mad at myself. I never reported the event. It wasn't until years later, when I read books about date rape, that I admitted I had been a victim. I had to learn to call it rape and to release myself from feeling responsible for what had happened to me. This patchwork of experiences, along with years of study and work as a sex therapist, has helped me understand the challenge of sexual healing. I know how hard it can be to overcome denial and feelings of responsibility. I know how long it can take to stop old patterns of behavior that continually recreate the abuse. I know how slowly one has to go to relearn touch and sexual responsiveness in a new way, free of the memories of abuse. And I know how important it is to respect and love oneself, embracing a new concept of what it means to be a sexual person. One of the things that I enjoyed most about writing this book was the opportunity it gave me to share my DNAH, 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 the na, the na, the na, the na, HAND, 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 dna, dna. One of the things that I enjoyed most about writing this book was the opportunity it gave me to share my hard-earned insights about sexual healing with others. It's important to me to break the silence and reduce shame about important sexual issues. Too many people suffer unnecessarily, stuck in self-hatred, ignorance, and dissatisfaction because they are denied accurate information about sex. As a trailblazer, the sexual healing journey gives survivors and partners a crucial message. And time to step into the mind, away from the heart, into the magician energies, away from the divine feminine. No, not the divine feminine, the feminine. Grandma Moon's the divine feminine. You are not alone. You can safely learn from the healing experience of others who have gone before you. You can enjoy a deeply rewarding sex life of your own invention. The book also prompted me to go further in my own sexual healing. More memories of childhood abuse surfaced. I confronted my uncle about the covert type of incest I experienced as a child. He was furious and denied the abuse at first. A year later, after doing some counselling work of his own, he visited me in Eugene, Oregon, to work on family reconciliation. We met, and I told him what I remembered and how his actions had affected my life. My uncle listened, shared more information, took responsibility for his actions, and offered a sincere apology. In addition, he told me about things that had happened to him in the family that led him to develop poor boundaries with sexual talk and behaviour. It was heart-wrenching to realise how much the past abuse had prevented an active, healthy uncle-niece relationship for many years. We both cried. I don't know. Bear with us, I'm not sure where we are. I know it's the word cried. There we go. We both cried. Afterward, I felt like I shed layers of unnecessary sexual shame I hadn't even been aware I had been carrying. I also gained a greater respect for the courage it takes for someone who perpetrated sexual abuse in the past to step forward and be accountable. A year after I met with my uncle, I returned to Boulder, Colorado, to visit the path where I had been sexually assaulted. Hematite. Back. Down our back. Yeah. Oh, cold. DLOC, 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 DeLoc, 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 DeLoc. Cold. Cold. Left vagus nerve. Left vagus nerve. Left vagus nerve. Down front. Down front. Back. Back. KCAB. KCAB. Cacab. 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 Back. Back. Front. 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 TNORF. TNORF. Turn off. Turn off. Turn off. Turn off. Quebec. Quebec. Down the back. Okay. How are we doing? Oh, best we can be in this situation. Well done. Incredible. I also gained a greater respect for the courage it takes for someone who perpetrated sexual abuse in the past to step forward and be accountable. A year after I met with my uncle, I returned to Boulder, Colorado, to visit the path where I had been sexually assaulted 25 years earlier. I was amazed. First of all, I could hardly recognize the spot where the attack occurred because the school had cleared away the dense bushes where the assailant had hidden before jumping me. I also noticed that the university had installed call boxes at both ends of the trail. It was wonderful to feel my own strength and recovery, as well as to recognize the efforts that had been made to prevent sexual assaults. Knee on our foam roller. Tomato mo non patino. Okay. I lean my bike along the railing of the Owasso Bridge and look south towards the now naked sun. Rivulets paint a twinkling mosaic on the flat surface of the slow-moving river. Mesmerized by both the familiarity and constant transformation of the landscape. I reflect on the social changes that have taken place since the Sexual Healing Journey was first released in 1991. 11, 11, 11, mirror, backwards, mirror, 1991, 1991, 1991, 99, compassion, compassion, 11, individuality, us in future, soon legal. The chaos is leaving our body. In not quite a so chaotic way that it scares others to have to lock us up. Back then, it felt daring to write about sex and sexual abuse. Today, these topics are far more popularised, providing material for magazine articles, books, online forums, television shows, and movies. Numerous high-profile lawsuits involving clergy, scout leaders, coaches, scouts and trackers and scouts, Native American Indians. Is that the other word we were looking for the other day? Yeah, not sure if it's tracker or scout, but one of them. Oh, thank you for sharing. We wanted to know that, didn't we? Yeah. Oh, you're awesome. Numerous high-profile lawsuits involving clergy, scout leaders, coaches, and others have drawn increased attention to the reality of sexual violence and child sexual exploitation. People are no longer shocked when an actress, politician, or author publicly discloses past sexual abuse. In general, victims are more believed and less blamed. Time has brought a deeper understanding of the psychological repercussions of sexual abuse. The phenomenon of repressed memories, which once called into question the reality of recollections of past trauma, is better understood and has been validated by a large body of scientific research. We have better identified and addressed the relationship between past sexual abuse and a wide variety of concerns, including eating disorders, substance abuse, depression, chronic anxiety, chronic medical conditions, and compulsive behaviours. It has been heartening to witness the positive shifts in public opinion concerning issues such as sexual harassment, sexual addiction, sexual health, acquaintance rape, victims' rights, and child advocacy. The internet and other advances in communication technologies have become powerful tools for addressing and reducing sexual abuse. Social networking forums and online sex offender registries raise public consciousness about how vulnerable both children and adults are to sexual predators. The internet also provides an unprecedented array of resources for sexual abuse prevention, protesting, reporting, and recovery. Increased social awareness regarding sexual abuse appears to have paid off big time. Child sexual abuse and rape rates declined significantly. Child sexual abuse and rape rates declined significantly for most of the past 2 decades, according to federal health statistics, and there's an asterisk. Full citations for the preface can be found in the professional articles listings in the resources section of this book. See starred asterisk references there. These lower rates mean thousands of children and adults were spared unjustifiable suffering, and many individuals and families impacted by sexual abuse were able to find help and emotional support. Unfortunately, however, we still have a long way to go in addressing the serious epidemic of sexual abuse in our culture. Social factors that can predispose sexual harm, such as gender inequality, the sexualizing of children in fashion and the media, and the widespread consumption of sexually aggressive pornography, remain quite strong. Sadly, a number of recent surveys are indicating that sexual abuse rates may be on the rise again. As a therapist who hears frequently about the intimate problems of survivors, I am frustrated that important studies affirming the seriousness of sexual repercussions of sexual abuse have not received adequate attention in the national media. In particular, a survey of more than 3,000 people reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association found high rates of sexual arousal disorder in women who have experienced child sexual victimization and forced sexual contact. They also revealed that male victims of child sexual abuse were 3 times as likely to experience erectile dysfunction and approximately 2 times as likely to experience premature ejaculation and low sexual desire, and that such profound effects may last for years after the original event. A 2007 Neves. Neves, Neves, not NIAMH, Hermain, 7, SEVEN, 7. We took homework, extra maths homework from school to soothe ourselves. Modern day, divine feminine, child, adult, female genius. That's what we are. And we don't care if anyone else agrees, believes, or not. A 2007 survey of 3,200 women in the Boston, Massachusetts area found similar results, reporting a strong relationship between sexual dysfunction and multiple types of sexual abuse, even after adjusting for depression. And a study of 827 patients at a New York sexually transmitted disease clinic found alarmingly high rates of sexual risk behavior in individuals with child sexual abuse histories. Together, these studies and others demonstrate that our society needs to take more seriously the fact that experiencing sexual harm puts one at greater risk of developing significant problems with sexual health, desire, functioning, romantic attachment, and satisfaction. Looking back over the past 20 years, I can see how the sexual healing journey propelled me to create more resources for sexual understanding and healing, while launching me into a life of travel, lecturing, media appearances, and other advocacy for survivors. Aware of the impact of sexual abuse on adult, intimate partners and the importance of learning directly from others, I co-produced 2 videos for couples. The first one, Partners in Healing, Couples Overcoming the Sexual Repercussions of Incest, features 3 couples discussing how they faced the effects of sexual abuse together and how they learned to work as a team in recovery. The second video, Relearning Touch, Healing Techniques for Couples, also features real couples and includes sensitive demonstrations of the Relearning Touch exercises that you'll find described and illustrated in chapter 10 of this book. When growing numbers of survivors disclosed serious concerns with troublesome and unwanted sexual fantasies, I began researching how I could help them more effectively. I looked at academic studies on fantasy and began interviewing people about their erotic imaginings. I discovered that some sexual fantasies, like nightmares, stem from negative sexual experiences and unresolved psychological conflict related to past sexual abuse. Just as I had done earlier with sexual healing, I developed healing strategies survivors can use to understand and effectively move away from their disturbing and unwanted sexual fantasies. These strategies are described in Private Thoughts, Exploring the Power of Women's Sexual Fantasies, co-authored with my journalist friend, Susie Boss. While the book focuses on women's issues, it also provides information helpful to men who have sexual fantasy concerns. At conferences and in my practice, survivors would frequently tell me they were having a hard time conceptualizing healthy sexual intimacy. They were less concerned with what it looks like from the outside and more interested in finding out what it feels like to experience from the inside out. I went searching for inspiring resources that could reveal the beauty and meaning of sex that is freely chosen and based on conditions of real love, respect, and responsibility. I looked at numerous media and eventually found the most compelling examples in works of poetry. Love you, Mum. Auntie Ursula. Looks like we're doing our daily poem after this one. Before we embrace ourselves anymore. Oh, our parasympathetic nervous system guts like that one. Excited by this discovery, I compiled and edited 2 poetry anthologies, Passionate Hearts, the poetry of sexual love, and Intimate Kisses, the poetry of sexual pleasure. They celebrate the joys of healthy sexual love and explore the nature of sexual pleasure. These vivid descriptions of healthy sexual sharing underscore the fact that sex can be what you make it. Its positive potential is limitless. Beginning in the late 1990s and coinciding with the explosion of the internet and other electronic devices, increasing numbers of clients began complaining about serious problems caused by pornography. Some clients were survivors who had become caught up in a porn-infused fantasy world that was reinforcing past sexual abuse and hindering their sexual healing. Others were tremendously upset that their intimate partners were into porn. As one woman shared, the invasive presence of pornography is like the abuse all over again. It became apparent that this cold, it'll be cold. Put the blanket on our lap. Hat, we put our hat on. You want to put our hat on? Yeah. Okay, it's just here, isn't it? Yeah. Green for heart. From Queenstown. Charity shop. Must have good energies in it. There we go. Is that better? Yeah, we like that. Okay. Well done, my lovelies. Others were tremendously upset that their intimate partners were into porn. As one woman shared, the invasive presence of pornography is like the abuse all over again. It became apparent that this relatively new, easy to get, on-demand pornography is capable of disrupting relationships and shaping sexual behaviors in harmful ways. The people who contacted me about problems with porn wanted help. They wanted to know how they could deal with this new threat to sexual health and intimacy. After several years of research, my husband, Larry, and I co-authored The Porn Trap, the essential guide to overcoming problems caused by pornography. And who says, someone said in another book we read, never to read the preface. Really important to read the preface, in our opinion. Okay, you got that point across? Okay, thank you for sharing. Twai no more ta. That was a big one, wasn't it? Yeah. Gone to our bottom right jaw. Bottom right jaw. Wash, wash, wash. The Essential Guide to Overcoming Problems Caused by Pornography. It's a compassionate resource that describes the serious problems that can result from using porn and provides effective strategies and steps for recovery. As in the sexual healing journey, we include specific exercises for people healing from porn who want to develop skills for approaching touch and sex in ways that are compatible with love-based sexual sharing. I am delighted that in the past 20 plus years, the sexual healing journey has been so positively received. My colleagues in the therapy field tell me they regard it as the seminal work on how to heal the sexual problems caused by sexual abuse. The book has been launched for providing a flexible approach to sexual recovery that combines mind, body, and relationship healing techniques. It is listed in many bibliographies and on web pages for survivors, intimate partners, and therapists. Don't move hand, don't move hand, don't move hand. Okay. And therapists. It was first published. The Sexual Healing Journey has sold Since it was first published, The Sexual Healing Journey has sold more than 170,000 copies. Survivors around the world have sent letters of appreciation, and Australian women wrote, "Thank you for your truth and honesty, and your style of thinking, relating, and writing. The tone is gentle yet firm, and covers all facets of the problems, appropriately and professionally." A survivor from Connecticut sent a card saying, "The Sexual Healing Journey is an incredible resource. It's very healing to read other people's stories and quotes. I've worked on intimacy issues for many years now and can finally see, feel, and know that some powerful, positive changes have occurred. Your book has been very healing for me." And another survivor recently emailed me sharing, "Your book has changed my life." While I treasure these messages, I also understand that the book is, and always has been, an accumulation and sharing of information acquired from the life experiences of many people besides myself. My primary role has been as a conduit for survivors, partners, and other therapists to share their wisdom. In fact, their stories have been a gift to me, reaffirming my own experience and enduring conviction that love is stronger than abuse. Sito pomada pa, sito puit ma, sito mighty no, sito ma, sito mo, sito mitai no, sito ma. Born again Kiwi. That's us. born again kiwi, a great blue heron, silently lifts off from its stony perch on the riverbank. I climb back on my bike and head home, feeling pleased that the sexual healing journey continues to be available and beneficial to many people. As a seasoned therapist, I know that the healing approaches and techniques described in the book do work. Thousands of people have used them to heal and create intensely rewarding, richly satisfying sexual lives. And you can too. This 20th anniversary edition has been updated and revised to keep current with the latest research and treatment methods. This new edition includes an improved and expanded resources section to provide you with up-to-date information on books, articles, organisations, and residential treatment facilities. You'll also notice new listings for websites that can be helpful to survivors, partners, and therapists involved in sexual recovery work. And for the first time, it is also available in electronic reading formats. In your hands, in my hands, in our hands, we hold a safe, private way to begin sexual healing. Here, we will find, you will find, we will find a model for healthy sex and become familiar with the journey that can take you, us, we, me, there. This book offers us, you, me, new insights into what happened, how it influenced us, me, you, I, and how you, me, we, I can change and gained, and how you can change ingrained sexual attitude. So those porky, joy tuning forks. This book offers new insights into what happened, how it influenced you, and how you can change ingrained sexual attitudes and behaviours that hinder your enjoyment of life. And if you are in a relationship, it provides guidance for your intimate partner so you can work as a team in making positive changes. I want to help you feel comfortable addressing and discussing sexual issues with others and to give you the tools you will need to accomplish your own sexual healing. This book is based on my firm belief that no one should have to suffer through life sexually damaged because of something that happened in the past. Healthy sex is something everyone deserves and can achieve. Wendy Maltz, Eugene, Oregon. Most of the quotes and stories in this book come from questionnaires, interviews, counselling sessions and workshops. Names and identifying details of the survivors and partners mentioned have been changed. In some cases, composite accounts have been created based on the author's professional expertise. And next time, when we revisit this, whenever, wherever that shall be, it'll be introduction about the sexual healing journey. Namaste, it's a Noni Snowflake here. Welcome to the Shinto Yoga experience with Shinto Self-Empowerment.